We were 3 weeks out with Marina. Dress fittings done, venue booked, menu finalized. Her Pinterest board had been mined for every last flower arrangement and table setting. I had just paid the final invoice on the live band. Marina said she wanted a classy upscale vibe for the reception, but still wanted to rage, whatever that meant. Her name was already on my health insurance. We were discussing kids' names. Logan, if it's a boy. Emma, if it's a girl. My life felt sealed until I got a message that detonated the whole thing. It came from Tess. Do not marry her. I stared at my phone. 3 words. No punctuation, no context. Tess and I were not close. She was Marina's old friend from undergrad. The kind of woman who knew where everyone's secrets were buried. We had shared a few drinks over the years at barbecues and game nights. She always struck me as sharp, sarcastic, a little too blunt for Marina's taste. I wrote back, "What is this about?" She replied almost instantly, not over text, "Meet me." Today, Maple Ridge Park, 3 p.m., no emojis, no small talk. I showed up 20 minutes early. The park was mostly empty, grey sky, wind stirring dry leaves across the benches. I sat in silence, watching squirrels square up over nothing, feeling like the joke was already on me. She walked up in jeans and a dark hoodie. No makeup, no pretense. She spotted me before I rose from the bench. "Hey," she said. Nothing else. No smile, no small talk. Just that one word, level and unreadable. "Hey," I replied. She did not sit. She pulled out her phone, thumbed something, then handed it to me. No explanation, just the glow of the screen between us. It was a photo. Marina, my Marina, wearing a white sash that said "Bride-to-be," sitting on a couch in some club. Her mouth was locked with a shirtless man in a novelty cop hat. Her hands were in his hair. His hand was under her dress. You could see her left thigh and part of her underwear. I blinked once and felt nothing move inside my head except a hinge. "This was the bachelorette party 2 days ago," Tess said. Her voice was flat, like she was done sugarcoating anything. Tess swiped. Next photo, Marina grinding on the guy's lap, head thrown back, eyes closed. Third photo, Marina laughing with a bottle in one hand and her heel in the other. Her lipstick was smeared. Her eyes were glassy. "She left with him," Tess said. I did not respond, just stared at the image like it might rearrange itself into something forgivable. Marina had been the one who insisted we do the bachelor and bachelorette parties early. She said she did not want to look bloated or hungover at the wedding. "Give me time to detox and glow," she joked. I had laughed. It felt pathetic now. I handed the phone back, breathing slow through my nose. My jaw was locked. Every muscle in my face felt like it belonged to someone else. "She told the girls not to say anything to you," Tess added quietly. "Said it was her last night as a free woman. Said she earned it." There was no drama in her voice, just resignation. Like she had already burned through her anger before she sent the message that brought me here. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because you deserve to know what you are marrying into." I stared past her, past the park, and into nothing. I nodded once. That was it. No rage, no questions. Just the slow settling silence of something snapping deep inside you. I went home without a word. Marina was working late. I did not wait up. I packed. Not everything, just the things that mattered. Laptop, passport, some clothes. I left the engagement photo stuck on the fridge like a joke. I pulled the hard drive from my PC and left the rest. By the time she got home, I was gone. I did not block her number. I wanted to see her scramble. The first day was texts. "Where are you? Everything okay? I am getting worried." Second day was more aggressive. "You are scaring me." If this is some kind of cold feet thing, at least call me, please. I said nothing. On the third day, I cracked. I turned my phone back on at a motel 2 towns over. It rang within 10 minutes. Finally, she breathed. Her voice was shaky. "Where are you? What is going on? You know what is going on." Long pause. I could hear her breathing. I saw the pictures. Silence. You left with a nightclub dancer. That is not what it looks like. Stop. I know what I saw. I did not sleep with him. You think I am stupid. I was drunk. It was a mistake. One night, and that is it. And you did not plan on telling me, right? You were just going to walk down the aisle, lie through your vows, and play house like nothing happened. I did not mean for it to go that far, but it did. Her voice cracked. Please, let me explain. Not like this. Let us talk face to face. I have nothing to say. I hung up. She called 20 more times. I let it ring. Then came the voicemails, the tears, the panic, the rage. I listened to every one of them. Not because I cared, because I wanted to burn every last illusion. Then came the guilt campaign. The texts kept coming. I am falling apart. You are the only one who can calm me down. The messages came hourly, then every 10 minutes, day and night. She switched from texting to voicemails like hearing her voice would break me. When that did not work, she turned to pressure. Everyone is asking questions. Do you know how humiliated I feel? I made one mistake, and you are destroying everything. You are punishing me worse than I deserve. Like I was the villain for walking away. Like betrayal was a thing you measured in percentages. Then the threats started. Some were vague. I do not know what I will do if you stay silent. I cannot handle this alone. I saved every message, every voicemail. I did not respond. I just documented. Then nothing. Either she ran out of words or she was planning something worse. 3 days later, I came into the office like any other morning. Coffee in hand, brain on autopilot, ignoring the chatter at the front desk. I turned the corner toward the hallway that led to my floor and stopped dead. I saw not Marina. I saw her mother. Marina's mother was sitting in the lobby, hair perfect, expensive coat. A purse that probably cost more than my rent. She looked like she belonged in a country club, not standing rigid in front of an office building. Her eyes locked onto mine. She did not smile. "Can we talk somewhere private?" she asked. I did not answer. I turned and walked towards the back hallway near the loading dock. Concrete floors, flickering light. No people. She followed without a word. We stopped outside the freight elevator. She did not sit. She did not lean. "Marina is a wreck," she said. I stayed silent. She has not eaten. She barely sleeps. She will not stop crying. I waited. She made a mistake. "No," I said. She made a choice. Then she lied about it. She did not sleep with him. I do not believe you anymore. She was drunk. It was one stupid night. It was a night she made sure I would never know about. Her expression tightened. Her tone sharpened. Maybe if you had been a better fiancé, she would not have felt the need to act out. That hit like a slap, but I did not flinch. So it is my fault now. I am saying maybe she felt unloved, ignored. You are cold, withdrawn. You always have been. I laughed, low and bitter. She planned every second of this wedding. I followed her lead from the cake to the color palette. If I was distant, it is because I thought I was with someone I could trust. "You two were perfect together," she snapped. "No," I said. She was perfect when I did not know who she was. She looked around like she needed air. "You are really going to walk away from everything, from her, from us. There is nothing left to walk from." Her jaw locked. "You are making a mistake," she said, voice icy. "And when this blows over, do not expect her to take you back." I nodded once. "Goodbye, ma'am." I walked away and blocked her number. It was not the end. 2 days later, the father came. He did not ask to come in. He waited in the motel parking lot until I walked out to smoke. He leaned against a silver BMW, tapping his phone. The second he saw me, he pocketed it. "You are hard to track down," he said. I took a drag. Said nothing. "We need to talk." "Pretty sure we do not." He stepped closer. "You embarrassed her. You humiliated our family. People are talking. She did that herself." He narrowed his eyes. We have put down over 30,000 on the venue. Food, florals, dress, photographer. Do you grasp the damage you caused? Oh, I get it, I said, cool as glass. She cheats and I owe you money. You walked away from a binding agreement. Show me the contract. He did not like that. I always thought you were a little off, he muttered. Quiet, always watching. My wife said you had killer eyes. Should have trusted her gut. Killer eyes, I repeated. Nice. She is still willing to forgive you. That is generous of her. He stepped in close. Too close. Listen, son, I do not care how much this hurt your feelings. You either show up and fix this, or you will be paying us back in court. I flicked the cigarette at his feet. Try me. The next morning, Marina showed up. Not unannounced. She texted first, said she needed 5 minutes, said she was parked outside. I looked through the blinds. She was in her silver Audi, engine running, arms gripping the steering wheel like she might snap it in half. I do not know why I went down. Maybe I wanted to see how far she would fall. I got in the passenger seat. You look like hell, I said. She gave a humorless laugh. So do you. We sat in silence for a moment. Her eyeliner was smudged, but she had tried to dress up. Her lips were painted like she thought this was a date. I miss you, she whispered. No. You miss control. She looked at me. Really looked. Like she was searching for some old version of me behind my face. Then she leaned in, voice low. Look, if it will make things right, you can sleep with someone. I blinked. What? I am serious, she said. Just once. Pick whoever. I will not be mad. We are engaged. It should count for something. I do not want this to be the end. You think this is about revenge. I think it is about balance, she said carefully. You deserve something too. After what happened. I stared at her. No emotion, just stillness. You think letting me sleep with someone else erases what you did? I think it is a gesture. No, I said. It is pathetic. Her face twisted. I am trying, okay? I am doing everything I can to fix your image. I cut in. Not your character. Do not do that, she snapped. Do not sit there all holier than thou, like you have I never cheated on you. You are acting like I am a criminal. No, I said, leaning closer. I am acting like a man who saw his fiancée locked to a dancer in front of her friends, then trying to buy him off with permission to screw around. That is not love. That is damage. Something cracked. She hit me, not hard, a quick slap to the shoulder, then another, open palm to the chest. I hate you, she yelled. You are cold. You are heartless. I met her eyes, calm. No, I finally see you clearly. I opened the door and stepped out. Do not walk away again, she screamed behind me. You are not finished with me. I turned once. You offered me a hall pass like a discount coupon, I said. That is all I need to know about you. I walked away and did not look back. Marina did not vanish after that. If anything, she doubled down. She started sending voice notes instead of texts, like hearing her would crack me open. Always crying, always repeating the cycle. Please let us talk. I cannot eat. I cannot sleep. I will do anything. The next day she showed up at my job. She was posted outside the building like a figure from a noir poster. Coat, sunglasses, arms wrapped tight around herself. I stopped short, then came to her. If you come near me again, I said, I will call the police. Her jaw dropped. You would really do that to me. Try me. I turned and walked inside. She stayed on the sidewalk, watching. That night, I booked a legal consult. The next morning, I sat across from a lawyer in a quiet office above a tile showroom. Guy in his 40s, no nonsense, sleeves rolled. He looked over the messages on my phone one by one. This is more than enough, he said. She is not leaving you alone. Showing up, blowing up your phone, that is a pattern. She is not dangerous, I said. She is spiraling. That is enough, he replied. You do not have to wait until she crosses a bigger line. She has already crossed plenty. He tapped his pen against the screen. The stuff at your job is what seals it. Showing up where you work uninvited. That is pressure. Not okay. I leaned back. She used to be calculated. Now she is a fire, and she wants to drag me in. Breakups do not make people lose it, he said. They show you who already did not have it together. He drafted everything fast and walked me through the language. This will not stop her feelings, he added, but it will put a wall between them and you. 3 days later, the order was served directly to her by a court officer. No contact, no calls, no messages, no showing up anywhere I was known to be. I thought that would end it. It did not. I was grabbing coffee in the office kitchen when the front desk called down the hall. She says she is your fiancé. I walked out. Marina was in the lobby. Black blazer, heels, lipstick like war paint. Her face was tight, chest rising fast, something thick and stapled in her hand. The moment she saw me, she marched forward and threw a stack of legal papers at my chest. Pages slapped across me and skittered on the floor. You want a war? She snapped. Fine. Here is your war. I looked down. Hayes M. My name? Civil filing. $32,800. The same list I would see again, now warm from her hand. They are suing me. No, we are suing you, she hissed. You do not disappear and humiliate people like this. You left me to clean up the mess. You made the mess, I said coldly. I made one mistake. You made 10 after it. She stepped closer. You think walking away makes you a hero? You are a coward. And you are an actor in a role that is not landing. Her jaw clenched. Her eyes shone, not with tears, but rage. My parents are respected. I am respected. You think you can vanish and make us look like trash. I bent, gathered the pages, and handed them back. You are doing a great job of that on your own. She slapped them out of my hand again. If you do not make this right, what? You will cry harder. Send another threat. Show up with more emotional damages. She noticed people watching now. Phones may be filming. She lowered her voice. This does not have to get worse. I smiled. It is already over. I turned and walked away. She did not follow. Later that afternoon, I dropped the crumpled packet on my lawyer's desk. She brought it herself, I said. Threw it in my face in front of coworkers. He flipped through calmly. Venue deposit, catering, floral arrangements, makeup and hair trials, photographer, dress. They are embarrassing themselves. There is no contract, no prenup, no written agreement on financial responsibility. The emotional damage part is laughable. It will be tossed before a judge blinks. So I do not owe them anything. Not a dime. He flipped to the last page. And the cherry on top, emotional damages for abandoning the bride during a committed contract of engagement. They put that in writing. They think you will fold. Settle fast to avoid press, embarrassment, gossip. They do not know me. That night, I posted a simple note online. The wedding is cancelled. There will be no new date. Please respect my privacy. 10 minutes later, I got a voice message from Marina's sister. Her voice was thick with venom. You are breaking her. She is not sleeping. She is not eating. She is going to end up in the hospital, and you are watching her bleed. I did not respond. I did not even save it. Later that same day, my phone rang from a number I did not recognize. Voicemail. Marina's voice, shaky. I am going to the bridge. If you do not come, it is on you. I drove in the rain. Not out of fear for her life, but because if she pulled this stunt, there had to be a line in the sand. It was cold. Needling rain stung my face. She stood at the rail, arms spread, soaked in that white trench coat she loved. Do not, I shouted, jogging up. She turned slowly. Mascara washed down her cheeks. Wet hair plastered to her neck. Her smile was soft. I knew you would come. You do not scare me, I said. I scare myself, she whispered. I stepped closer, hands in pockets. Calm. Not this time. You do not want to jump, Marina. How do you know? Because you wore makeup. She blinked. What? If this were real, you would not care how you looked. You are here because you want me to come running. Cry. Beg. Hold you. Silence. You do not want to die, I said. You want to win. I want you to see what you are doing to me. No, I want you to see what you did to us. You could forgive me, she said, voice shaking. People get over worse. I am not people. Please, do not leave me like this. You already left me, I said. You betrayed me. You lied. You made everyone lie for you. That is who you are. She slapped me hard, rain dripping from her fingers. I did not move. I turned and walked away. She did not jump. The courtroom was not packed, but the tension was thick. Her parents sat at the plaintiff's table, stiff and polished. Her mother in pearls and posture. Her father in a tailored suit with a smugness that did not last. Marina was not there. Of course she was not. She had them fight while she stayed hidden. The hearing moved fast. Their lawyer rose and recited the claim like a script. My clients invested substantial resources toward a formal union abruptly abandoned by the defendant. This caused financial loss and emotional distress. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, permission to respond directly. The judge nodded. Go ahead. He walked forward, calm and controlled. Let us talk about why this wedding did not happen, he said. Not in theory, in detail. He dropped a binder of printed texts and screenshots onto the table with a solid thud. These are messages exchanged between Miss Marina Cole and her friends days before and after the bachelorette party. He reached into his case and pulled out a sealed plastic evidence bag. Inside, a delicate pair of white lace underwear, labeled. The judge blinked. The gallery murmured. These were recovered from a man named Dante Cruz, my lawyer said. He was the performer at Miss Cole's event. He left the city shortly after, but was contacted and interviewed. He provided a sworn statement. It confirms that Miss Cole left the venue with him that night, spent the night at his apartment, and left these behind. The judge leaned forward, adjusting his glasses. You are saying this came directly from the individual involved? Yes, Your Honor. He also stated that Miss Cole told him, "It is my last night as a free woman. Might as well enjoy it." Her mother let out a faint sound. Her father's hand clenched on the table. Is the plaintiff disputing any of this? The judge asked, voice sharp. Their attorney stammered. Your Honor, my clients were unaware of these developments. Unaware, the judge snapped. That is your defense. He held the plastic bag by 2 fingers, disgust plain on his face. This is not how a bride prepares for marriage. This is not emotional injury. This is a cover-up. He turned his gaze on her parents. You are fortunate I am only dismissing the case. This man does not owe you $1, and your daughter owes him the truth. Maybe what she needs is a mirror. He slammed the gavel. Case dismissed, with prejudice. They left fast. Her father marched ahead like a man trying to outrun humiliation. Her mother followed, heels clicking, gripping the dismissed court papers in a manicured hand. Just as they passed through the hallway, her mother snapped. This is your fault, she hissed at her husband, loud and sharp. He spun around. Excuse me? You let her grow up thinking she could lie her way out of anything. Do not start with that, he growled. You covered for her every time she screwed up. I did not cover for her. I protected her. Someone had to because you were too busy golfing to be a father. Their argument exploded, echoing off marble. A clerk froze behind the desk. 2 law students stopped mid-step, faces turned. She humiliated us, her mother barked. She disgraced this family. He cut her off, pointing at me. He did not disgrace us. She did. Her mother swung her glare to me, finger out like she could pin me to a wall. This is what you wanted, is it not? To ruin her, to make us a circus. I did not move. You did that yourselves. You are disgusting, she spat. I smiled. And you are dismissed. Before she could spit anything else, a security guard stepped in. All right, take it outside, both of you. Her father did not need a second warning. He stormed out the front doors. Her mother held my glare for a beat longer, breathing hard like the air itself had turned against her, then turned and left. I pushed through the doors into the cold afternoon, and there was Tess, leaning against a brick column by the steps, arms folded, scarf loose, eyes steady like she had been waiting. "You stayed," I said. "I figured someone should." I walked down the steps, loosened my tie, exhaled. That was a circus. "You were the only one who did not look like a clown," she said. "You saw everything." She nodded. The meltdown, the father turning grey, the mother blaming gravity, and I am glad you burned it down. We stood in silence. The city moved around us. Horns, traffic, the ordinary rhythm that forgets no one. For the first time in months, I felt still. "Want to grab a drink?" she asked. "You look like you need something stronger than coffee." "Honestly," I said, "I want to sit somewhere quiet with someone who does not fake cry or throw court papers." "That is a weirdly sweet thing to say," she said. I shrugged. I am a weird man now. Tess hesitated, then nodded toward the street. "I am parked around the corner. We can go to my place. I have whiskey and silence." "Perfect." We walked side by side. No touching, no rush. Just two people who had circled each other in a storm and finally stepped into clear air. I did not know where it would go, but for the first time in a long time, I did not feel angry, or bitter, or broken. I felt ready. 3 weeks passed. No more texts from Marina, no bridge theatrics, no voice memos, letters, or sudden appearances. She went dark. At first, I thought maybe she found someone else to manage, or buried it under therapy and wine. Silence does not always mean peace. Sometimes it means something is brewing. I did not ask about her. I did not check her profiles. I did not care. The world has a way of delivering news whether you want it or not, Tess told me. We were on her couch one evening, half watching a movie neither of us cared about, when her phone lit with a message. She stared at it, then handed it to me. "From my cousin," she said. "She still runs in Marina's circle, sort of." The message read, "Marina checked herself into a psychiatric care facility. Breakdown." Her parents tried to keep it quiet. I read it twice and set the phone down. No smile, no satisfaction. Just a long exhale. "She cracked?" I asked. Tess nodded. Apparently she disappeared for 2 days, left her phone at home. They found her sleeping in her car at a rest stop an hour outside the city. She did not remember getting there. "She playing it for sympathy?" I asked. Tess looked at me. "No, this was real. Messy real. Her mother went silent for days. Her father has been calling lawyers to get records scrubbed. And Marina." Tess leaned back. I guess she finally ran out of people to lie to. I did not say anything. After a while, Tess asked, "Do you feel bad for her?" I thought about it. "No," I said quietly. "I feel nothing." That was the surprising part. Not the breakdown. Not the silence. The weightlessness. She had burned the whole structure down, and in the ashes there was nothing left for me to mourn. The days settled into a new shape. I worked. I ate. I slept. I saw Tess sometimes, and sometimes I did not. We did not draw a map. We did not rush. We talked when talking made sense, and we did not when silence felt cleaner. There was no script. That was the point. Her parents tried one more time to stir the embers. A letter arrived through my lawyer, polished language tied into legal knots, a last attempt to suggest that I owed a debt to a story that had already collapsed. My lawyer sent back one paragraph and a copy of the judge's order. That was the final breath of their campaign. After that, the air cleared. I walked past the venue one afternoon, on my way to another meeting. The staff were loading crates of glassware into a van. A new couple stood under the arch where our names had once been penciled onto a chalkboard. They were laughing about flowers and seating charts, the kind of lights you only have when the future still looks like a painting. I did not feel punched by it. I did not feel much at all. I tipped my chin to the doorman and kept walking. Tess sent me a photo one morning of her apartment plants thriving in weak winter light. The caption said, Proof that neglected things can still come back. Later that week, we cooked pasta at my place while rain hit the windows. She told me a story about the time she almost moved to Santa Fe and did not go because someone talked her out of it. I told her about the first time I saw snow fall in absolute silence at midnight on a campus quad and how it made everything feel like a reset button. We did not make promises. We poured more tea. Marina's name became a fact, not a wound. I kept the hard drive I had pulled from my PC in a drawer and realized one afternoon that I could not remember why I was guarding it. I backed up the parts I needed and recycled the drive. I took the engagement photos off the fridge. The magnets left faint shadows on the metal. I cleaned them with glass spray and a paper towel until the outline was gone. I saw Tess again outside a bookstore after work. She had a paperback in her hand and a question in her eyes. Not the kind that demands, the kind that invites. "Coffee?" she asked. I said yes. We sat by the window and watched people choose their way through the rain. She asked me if I thought I would ever want a big party again. I said maybe. She said maybe is honest. I said honest is all I have left. She smiled like that counted. Marina's mother posted a photo of a coastal sunrise with a caption about fresh starts and family. Her father posted nothing for a month. When he reappeared, it was a cigar on a patio and a glass of amber liquor. People who knew them wrote one-word comments. Beautiful, strength, resilience. I scrolled past without heat. They could stage their narratives. Everyone does. I no longer had a role in theirs. One evening, Tess asked if I kept any of Marina's things. I said no. Tess said good. She said not because you need to erase, but because you do not need a museum. I said I was not a curator anymore. She raised her glass and said to being a person instead. We clinked and drank. I ran into an old friend who had taken Marina's side early because he believed the version where I was cold and unloving. He looked sheepish and tried for a soft apology without saying the word. I told him it was fine. He said he heard about the hearing, and the dismissal, and the statement from the dancer. He asked if it felt good to be vindicated. I said vindicated is a headline word. What I felt was a clean floor, and a chair by a window, and the sound of my own breathing. He said that sounded like peace. I said close enough. The restraining order expired on schedule. My lawyer asked if I wanted to renew. I told him no, unless there was a reason. There was not. The phone stayed quiet. My building stayed unvisited. The office lobby remained a place for deliveries and small talk. No more scenes. No more paper missiles. No more promises of bridges and cries for rescue dressed as love. I learned small things again. How to make a decent omelet without tearing it. How to sit in a park and not reach for my phone. How to let a song play to the end. How to say no without explaining. How to say yes without fear. How to leave a glass in the sink overnight and not judge myself in the morning. How to write my name on a form and not flinch at the line that asks for spouse or partner, because a blank space is not a failure. It is just a space. Tess and I did not label anything. We did not have to. There were days we texted a lot, and days we did not. There were nights we sat on her floor with takeout containers and a deck of cards. There were mornings we walked to the corner bakery and pretended we were tourists in our own neighborhood by pointing out details we had never noticed. There were afternoons when we did not talk at all, and it felt like the most honest conversation of my life. I kept thinking back to the first message she sent. Do not marry her. The simplest instruction in the world, and the hardest to absorb when you are already fastened to a plan. I kept thinking about the bench in Maple Ridge Park, the gray sky, the leaves, the squirrels fighting over nothing, and how ordinary that scene was. For the moment, my life veered. It felt fitting. Big turns can hide inside quiet rooms. Months later, a coworker mentioned that Marina was rumored to be living with an aunt across the river while she worked out treatment and therapy. I said I hoped she got help. I meant it. He waited for me to add something bitter. I did not. He looked surprised. People expect fire. Sometimes the truest end of a fire is ash and then space. On a Sunday morning, I opened a closet and found the garment bag that held the suit I had planned to wear at the ceremony. I carried it to the bed, unzipped it, and held the jacket to the window. It was handsome and unnecessary. I tried it on. It fit. I wore it to a friend's small wedding months later. No one knew the jacket's history except me. If it mattered to anyone, it mattered as fabric and silhouette, and not as a symbol. I danced a little, ate cake, said congratulations, and took a cab home with my tie loosened and my collar open. I slept without dreams. Tess asked me once if I would ever want kids. I said I would someday, if the world and my heart agreed at the same time. She said that sounded like an honest plan. We wrote a list of names on a napkin and folded it into a book neither of us finished. We did not need to finish the book for the napkin to count. On a different afternoon, I walked past Maple Ridge Park again. The bench was still there. Some things survive storms without noticing they were in one. I sat for a minute. A kid chased a kite across the grass and fell, then popped back up without checking who was watching. I took a breath and let it out. The breath was mine. That was enough.